Hello, everyone, and welcome to Social Media 101 with Claire Collins and Austin Bauer. I'm going to introduce them in just a little bit more detail here in a second, but first I'd like to introduce myself. So, my name is Ray. I'm part of the team organizing Startup Chippewa Valley. Startup Chippewa Valley is a week-long series of events that is really focused on educating, connecting, and celebrating startups, entrepreneurs, and small businesses across the Chippewa Valley. We're really proud of the programming that we've pulled together this week. I think it's going to be powerful for all of the people that are coming together and learning and connecting. A couple of things that I'd like to start out with real quick is a big thank you to our sponsors. Come on in, help yourself to some soup. That's a great segue because our first sponsor that I'll call out is the Lismore. The Lismore has provided some soup for this Lunch and Learn, so thank you to the Lismore. I'd also like to thank the Coven. Katrina is here from the Coven and the Coven team in general. Thank you to them for really being a huge supporter of Startup Chippewa Valley for many years and providing this space that we're in as an in-kind sponsor. So a couple other comments. RCU is sponsoring our keynote speakers at the end of the week. We're really excited about that. Thank you to RCU for that sponsorship. They're our flagship sponsor this year. Also, thank you to many other sponsors that continue to make this event series possible, including the district, who's sponsoring our Packers Watch Party. All of you, because you've registered for this event, can go and get a free drink ticket there tonight and watch the Packers. And there's lots of other opportunities like that. So please feel free to not only obviously participate here today, but check out all the other events that we've got going on this week. We're really excited to be running this week-long series of events. So with that, I'd love to introduce Claire Collins of Collins Creative and Austin Bauer of Austin Bauer Videography, who has disappeared momentarily, but we'll be right back. Okay, more pens. He'll be right back. I will let them introduce their workshop here today, but the thing that I really want to focus on for a moment is that Austin and Claire are a huge part of making this week successful this year because they're really owning social media and videography for the event series as a whole. So, and they're doing that in large part pro bono as a part of giving back to the community. So thank you so much, Claire and Austin, and I will turn it over to you for Social Media 101.
Thanks, Ray. Woo, big claps. I'm just gonna make sure you have one of these. What's up? Okay, so if you could fill out your little slips if you haven't already. We are gonna be doing a little giveaway near the end of this workshop for a content creation package, and we'll talk more about that later, but we're gonna come around and collect those slips so that we can find a winner in here. So again, I'm Claire.
I'm Austin.
And we're just gonna walk through basics of social media when it comes to marketing a business and how that might look different from your own personal social media and what we're seeing in our own businesses, what is working for small businesses, large to mid-size businesses as well. So just a little intro. I'm a freelance social media manager and content creator. I'm really familiar with product marketing and I'm getting more into event and services marketing at this time. So that's been really fun. And yep, you can see I have a little dog. Her name is Pippi. She's perfect and has never been bad once in her life. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I'm a videographer and content creator. And yeah, I do work I've shot for like Decky, Ho Chunk Gaming, and if you ever want to talk about it, the Minnesota Timberwolves. I love talking about that, so feel free to talk to me. And then that's my dog and cat, and they get in trouble every day. So.
Oh. Okay, so what we're gonna crack into right away is branding because as a business, the first thing that people notice when you're maybe on your website or other marketing channels beyond social media is your branding, how cohesive it is, what are your colors, what do you look like? These are things that most businesses already have figured out. So maybe that would be your brand voice. Are you serious? Are you witty? Are you casual? And then your brand design too. So you probably have a logo. You probably have some colors in those logos and colors you use around your logo as well. So these are things that we know most businesses already have figured out. And if you don't have that figured out yet, or you're in the beginning phases of starting your business, those are great first steps before getting into your own marketing journey in general, because it'll broaden throughout all of your channels, whether it's social media, radio ads, all of those things will need to be cohesive. But what we're going to get into now is what are the little tiny branding tweaks that you can pull into your own social branding. Because there are certain things that you can use in social media that you're not using if you did a TV ad, if you did a radio ad. On your website, you might not be using emojis, but in social media, you can, and it's totally appropriate for a business to be using these other little branding tweaks. So some things that businesses miss or that they can sharpen their branding on is emojis. It feels so silly, but what does your business, do you use emojis? Do you not? If so, which ones? Get really sharp just like you would with your tone of voice on how you talk to your customers in terms of like if you're serious or witty or casual, that might affect like which little emojis you want to use. Just adds this little touch that people and your audience do notice. And I'll actually show you a couple examples, and Austin and I will talk about those examples on the next slide. Another thing that separates social media branding wise from the rest of your marketing would be what type of content are you posting? So we're gonna talk more about this, but are you doing short or long form videos? Austin can go on about that for a while, and he is like knows exactly what you should be doing for your business, whatever. And then editing wise too, Austin has really good insights on that as well. So did you want to say anything about the editing right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think just kind of keeping it cohesive. What does that look like with graphics, lower thirds, like the font that you use? Things like that can make it so when people just see your video right away that they know that it's your video rather than switching it up all the time. So
Yeah. And then that really does bleed into the graphic design as well. How does that look different on social media? You have more room to play a little bit while still keeping it cohesive with the rest of your branding. So with that being said, here are 3 different companies that you may be familiar with. 2 of them are local. One of them is a little bit of a larger company, a pretty big company. And you can see these are just screenshots of their Instagram grids. So this kind of shows you like they do have a cohesion with their branding that they're working with, even like color palette wise. So this is Coffee House. If you haven't been here, you should definitely go try it. They have really good fika mochas. They're delicious. And they use a lot of these same emojis. So they're really locked in on like, here's our tone. They have a little book. They have a little smiley face, the coffee, the sparkles. The middle one is Poppy. And if you're not familiar with Poppy, they're like a prebiotic soda. And they're really colorful, you can tell. And they also use some of these same emojis at the top. You can tell that they've really honed in on their branding there. And then Eclectic Soul is a local jewelry maker. She's really into a mossy, organic look, and she's made her grid and her copy, her emojis really match that as well. So those are just some little examples. And another thing we'll touch on too later is the difference between like a professional picture, a professional photo or video versus something that you can make with your iPhone. So you can tell all of these companies, they're actually mixing both of these mediums together. Because what I like to always remind people is social media should not look like a catalog. That doesn't drive people to come and follow you. In this day and age, social media, people are using it to be social. They're not using it to follow businesses for the most part. So as a business, it's really great to almost bring down and feel like you're showing the behind the scenes. You're giving them a glimpse in of who you are as a company and your story. If you're bringing it down to say like, oh, this was taken with an iPhone, this was taken with a professional camera, because we still want you to see like the beauty of our business through a high quality lens. But all 3 of these companies are doing that by using professional and what I call like UGC, user generated content, which could just be like with your iPhone or maybe a little digital camera too. Those can bring out like fun edits. You want to add anything?
No, you're kind of the expert, I think, on the emojis and the grid. So
Next thing that we really want to talk about is your audience. And this is something overall in marketing that you probably think about all the time is who are you marketing to? Who is your audience? And the analytics portion of every single app you use. So that would be if you're really focused on TikTok, if you're focused on Instagram, if you're focused on Facebook, or if you want to know more about all of them, if you're cross-posting, every single one of these apps has a native analytics button that you can use, and it gives you so much information based on how your certain posts are performing. So something that Austin has done a lot with Decky, and I'll let you speak a little bit more on Decky, but when they found out that a certain type of video is working, they've decided to recreate and recycle. So when there's something that people are really latching onto, it's getting a larger views, more reach, people are seemingly reposting it or commenting even, they've decided to, okay, let's do something like this again and repeat that. And it has only made Decky like more popular and grab more of an audience. So do you want to talk more about this, like the peak at Decky?
right, yeah. So when we started working together at first, it was kind of just like more informational. So I grabbed Matt and we were like promoting Fall Fest, and it was like, there's this event happening here. And it didn't do super great because it was just kind of a little info video. The first like time that we saw humor really hit with the Decky audience was Matt was dancing around in each of the bids, the business improvement districts for downtown. So he was dancing in each district to this like trending song, and that video got like 20,000 views. And so we're like, okay, people just want to see Matt be silly. So we incorporate that into the informational posts as well. So we still can let them know about like Fall Fest coming up, or there's a coffee launch across the street, but just doing it then with humor. And so like the very top right video, if you can see, we like keyed Matt into the movie Dude, Where's My Car? Just to talk about parking for downtown. So thinking of just like more interesting ways to get information out there versus just saying, all right, this is where you can park. Good luck, but just having fun with it. And yeah, that kept working. And then did you want me to go kind of into the lurking versus liking?
Sure.
Sweet. So Instagram and social media has changed a little bit in when it first started and you liked a video, you saw one that you resonated with, you would physically like the video. Now most people just kind of like laugh and then scroll on. So they do like it, but they don't really give you anything to it. So you'll see views are a pretty important signifier of how well a video is doing, just because engagement might not come across. With Matt, engagement does come across when we like highlight a really specific business or a person, but it might not get as many views as when we're being a little bit more silly and more broad. But that's because people see this one individual person and want to talk to them, even though, yeah, we're not seeing as much of a view count.
Yeah. So like what they're doing is whatever the purpose of the post is if there maybe their purpose is not to get all the likes or all the comments, but just to get a large wide net of people with their eyes on it, then maybe they'll go more for the humor angle, where it's like, oh, we actually want people to know X, Y, and Z, or we want them to go and check out this business, then it will be a little bit more specific and more people might be commenting and liking. So every single post that you do can have a different purpose and a different goal. And it doesn't always have to be, oh, we only got like one like on this. What does that mean? Or, oh, no one commented on this thing, even though in the caption we told them, drop a comment. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's a poor performer if you're getting lots of views and if the reach is spreading. And a lot of people are now moving from liking into that lurking, where a lot of engagement is actually moving off the feed interface and going into DMs too. So more people are sending things to their friends and then chatting about it in DMs versus like tagging their friends in the comments. And that little behavior change based on everyone affects your business, and it helps you know whether you're performing well or not, because if that change makes you think, oh, that must have been a horrible video, but actually it wasn't. Actually, people really liked it, and the metrics are just looking different now based on your audience's behavior. Okay, so we're gonna do a little stop and discuss. So whoever you are at a table with, make a little group of 2, 3, 4, whatever you're comfortable with. And we're just gonna start the timer and have you chat a little bit about your branding and your audience and what currently you're working with for your business. So what are ways that you're branding and you're already working on that in your social media presence, or that you'd like to, or what are you noticing about your audience in your social media presence, or what you'd like to look into? And we'll give you 2 minutes to do that. Does anyone want to share like just a little tidbit that maybe like a good little nugget of info that we learned?
Yeah, I'm gonna just rephrase or just re-ask the question just for the live stream too. So like, what but so what does it look like when you're shifting your business, shifting your branding, basically along with that, without excluding audience members? Is the gist of it.
Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, my kind of immediate thought is when you are appealing to everyone, you're kind of appealing to no one. So there is kind of a growing pain, like with Decky, for instance, too. When I first started with them, because they didn't post for like 2 years before I came back on. So in the first month of them working with me, we lost like 400 followers because they were like, whoever was just basically forgot that they were following, and they're like, oh, this actually, I don't want this info anymore. But then we just kept going with like what we found out started working, and then that just kind of grew back. And so like the correct audience found us. I don't.
It kind of sorts itself out. You're saying
Sort of sorts itself out to a degree, yeah. Claire?
Well, this is actually the perfect segue because we are going to get into content pillars and what that means. And this might be helpful for you to categorize almost like what your goals are and why each different post might reach different goals for you. So not every single post needs to have that same like necessarily audience, because your audience could be for this one like the people who you're trying to reach. Another audience could be like, I don't know if you're doing services or product. Are you doing services? So for services, then it would be like kind of content around, well, why should you go with us? Why do you trust us? And that people who know about you but are still asking those questions in your mind. And then there's more for people, one for people who are like, oh, I just need more information about this industry in general. So there's these different worlds where you can have different audience people, but they're still within your realm, I guess. They're in your fam. Okay, so this gets us into content pillars. We made a little worksheet for you because we were like, I don't know, this could be a fun little interactive experience. And this really does depend on what kind of service you're offering, whether it's a product or not. But these pillars help you in your social media presence to be able to storytell who you are and give your audience more than just sell, sell, sell. We do this. Give us your money, please. It shows them who you are and also why should they care. Like, why do you matter? Why should you be popping up on their feed? So the first pillar, what I kind of laid out what they could be. These 3 things that I came up with are not necessarily what you have to do, but they're just like a good little starting point, and you can always choose. We always recommend like 3 to 5 content pillars. So if you wanted to broaden or expand them, there's absolutely room after these 3. But these are just kind of really good starting points. So the first one is obvious, and it's probably something you're already doing if you're marketing on social media, is your service or product. What do you do? What do you sell? Why give money to me, So pretty straightforward. These things can be shown in, you're showing off your collections, BTS meaning behind the scenes clips of you making, of you, your process in fulfillment, of shipping packages out, all of those little things of this is what we are doing. So for an example, Austin and I, we're going to talk about a plumbing business, because why would a plumbing business want to go on social media? Well, there's an audience there for them, but it doesn't necessarily feel like, oh, I don't know what we would do out there. So that we're kind of picking something that would feel a little like not as easy as perhaps a jewelry company, where it's like, obviously, look at all these pretty sparkly things. So for this one, obviously, you can do tips for plumbing. You could show like what a day in the life is like for your business, all of those things of what you're doing down to the nitty-gritty in really short, engaging clips. The second one would be your lifestyle or aesthetic. So in a company where you're like, okay, well, maybe we are marketing plumbing, so there's nothing that really feels quote unquote aesthetic. And that's not necessarily what this means. Aesthetic here means like, what do you do or what do you care about as a business outside of what you're already providing? So this could be like, is you and your business partner who you're working with, do you love coffee? Do you love plants? Like the random little things. Do you go out to lunch and grab subs with the guys? So like if you're all going out together and grabbing lunch, also documenting those things, because it brings out the humanity of who you are and what your business is. It shows more than just buy our product or sell. And then the third one would be community and connection. So this could be any other user-generated content, like featuring your team, inspirational quotes that's feeling like resonating with you or your team, collaborating with other people in the community, in your community, whether that be like your industry, or it could even be, if you're a local business, the Eau Claire area, of like, look who we're working with. You can collaborate in different ways on social media there too. And it shows that you're looking outside of yourself as well, which people really love to see. Are there any questions on the content pillars right here? No?
Yeah, so then I think kind of if you want to go to the next one, almost boiling it down a little bit more and why choosing like multiple pillars is beneficial versus just saying, all right, we're going to just feature our service or product, is because some pillars are kind of just like asking for things. So again, like, hey, this is why you should hire us. This is why you should give us the money. Look at this work that we did. Like this bathroom remodel was great. Those things are good to like prove that you know what you're doing and like you do good work. However, when you just keep continually asking of like, hey, check out our website, fill out a form, reach out, it just you get like inundated and you're like, that's too much. So then you end up stop following. So that's why you want like other pillars that are more giving. So again, like the lifestyle aesthetic, if that's like more fun and like, yeah, maybe you're just like palling around with your coworkers. One that I just thought of, there's this concrete company down in like Milwaukee that's like super popular. And a lot of his content is him just like riffing with his coworkers, like pouring concrete. And then every once in a while he like talks about his business. But that like giving content is what makes people want to keep watching. And then same with like community and connection, showcasing that like you're a business that's more than a business, like your connection in the community. Yeah, team features, collabs with other businesses, that can be a good giving opportunity as well.
Yeah, that reminds me of there's a library in Wisconsin that went viral because it had one funny video. And now all these people in the comments are like, why am I following a library 2,000 miles away? I don't know, but I am. Because these ladies were just like hilarious. And so that is something like Austin and I will both say is humor can always be a really great avenue for any social platform if that's something that you feel matches with your business identity. And funny office content, even that can go viral or just be something that shows your audience that you're more than just grab our products. Okay, so we're gonna do another stop and discuss. And what you'll do with your group this time, or even by yourself, is you can fill out your little content pillar worksheet on what exactly you want your pillars to look like for 1, 2, and 3, or if you have more ideas for 4 and 5 of what you'd like to share too. So I'm gonna start that timer over and give you a couple minutes to work on that or talk it through too with your group. So up to you how you'd like to tackle that. Okay, so now we're gonna talk a little bit more into like what types of actual photo, video, what kind of content are we going to be putting in underneath each of these pillars? Because regardless of exactly like, oh, let's show some tips. Okay, how am I showing those tips? Now we're going to get into that a little bit more and exactly like different types of ways to do the same type of content, but maybe in multiple forms. So, Instagram and Facebook, you are all probably most familiar with those. Maybe some TikTok in here. We do any TikTok marketing in here? Yeah, absolutely. Love that. That's the Wild West, I like to call it. But every single one of those platforms shows your photos and videos slightly different as well. So if you're doing a photo carousel, it's going to show up very different on TikTok versus Facebook versus Instagram. But like in terms of your platform, if you're using a photo carousel, you can show your quote unquote aesthetic or what really matters to you. Carousels, people tend to like those better because you can physically swipe them. There's a little bit more of engagement than a single post too. So there's different reasons why to do both. Where like a single post, maybe with text over it, could be more to share information, to spark excitement quickly, just get something out there real fast. You're not expecting a lot of engagement out of there, but just to have a place for people to go find some info. Do you want to get into video a little bit?
Yeah. So so for video carousel, it's kind of like a photo carousel, but it's just with video. So it's a good way to kind of use that video medium, but then also make it a little bit more interactive, so people are able to kind of swipe through. I think it's usually best if you have like really short videos, where maybe it's like 5 quick tips that you're giving, and you just kind of go through to see each tip. Short form video, this is great for building connection. I'm a little biased because I'm a videographer, but I think video is the best way to make a connection with someone. And so I think this is a great way to kind of make that first impression, spark interest, talk about who you are, showcase just like who you are, and then make that connection with possible clients. And then long form video. So this is like kind of continued education. And this is primarily for people that are like already bought in into who you are, into who your business is. It's generally tough, especially when it's like 2 minutes plus, to get someone that's never heard of you before to watch a 2-minute video, which sounds like a short video, but it's very long when you think about like scrolling through Instagram and sitting and watching a 2-minute video. So yeah, again, for like continued education, showcasing how your product works. Maybe it's testimonial videos. So someone's thinking about hiring, again, your plumbing company, but they just want to make sure that you're legit. a long form video on either like social media or on your website of client testimonials can be super powerful to just kind of prove or that you're a proven plumber. Yeah.
And then, wait, did you
Yeah.
talk about long form video?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
No,
okay.
you're good.
Another thing about the long form video is like, I know you've mentioned this before, but people don't really go and look at them a long video. Like, let's say you're making, a 5-minute video, 10-minute video. You're not really posting that on social media. Maybe you're posting that on YouTube or like your website, but people are really only looking into that once they're bought in. And a good example of that is I went to this restaurant. It was incredible. The chef came out and said hi. We made a connection with him. And then we found out later that Midwest Foodie did a 30-minute episode on YouTube about him. And so we actually sat down and watched a full 30 minutes about this restaurant because we were totally bought in on the experience, on how nice it was to meet this business owner and have a face-to-face connection and be like, wow, that's an incredible individual. And now we feel like we care even more about this place. And I feel like that really speaks to just like why that sort of content matters, and also why, like, meeting people and networking like we're doing even in this session of just talking with your groups matters, because it already brings more people to be bought in and share that, like, those extra tidbits about your business that make you truly interesting and who you are. Okay, so now we're going to stop and discuss again, but what you're going to do this time is with your sheets, we're just going to come up with ideas on what type of posts could go underneath each pillar. So we made a little post 1 and post 2 situation. So like 2 posts per pillar on what you could do or what you could, from what we just talked about in this list, I pulled it up on the side for you, under each pillar that you've already thought about or established in your groups. And you can also feel free to chat with your group members as well.
Yeah, so the content form, that's where you'd write like photo carousel or short form video. For the purpose, it's like, what are you trying to accomplish with that? And then the details and vision is just kind of like notes for what that video is going to look like.
Yeah, and if you end up not writing anything but having a really great conversation too, then
Great.
then that's perfect as well. So I'll start that timer over and feel free to chat. Great. Okay, so last little tidbit, we're going to just talk about some tools for content creation or even content management, because maybe you're using Meta Business Suite and that has its emotions that go along with. I don't know if anyone here has been frustrated with Meta Business Suite, but I know a lot of people who are not a fan. So there's some other tools that Austin and I are recommending that just might help you in your business if you're looking to cross-post across Meta, TikTok, LinkedIn, or whatever other platforms that you're using. I specifically work with Rella. It's really great for me, but that's also because I have my own clients and I can send them an approvals process. And Rella is pretty unique in the fact that it has an approvals. So I can send it to them and they can say, oh, yep, looks good. And then I know that it can be posted. So that one's great for if you're a marketing agency or a marketer in general with multiple clients. Vista Social is something that Austin has worked with.
Yeah, it's kind of like Rella. Rella definitely looks like prettier, and I think is probably better. I chose Vista just because it has, extra steps of, I would have someone like create captions for me for videos, and it made it so I could approve it before it got to the clients. So.
Yes, and then Sprout Social and Later Social are both really great tools to use as well. You can cross-post across a lot of different platforms, and then you can also, they have a great analytics tab too. So these two are great for if you're wanting to see analytics between LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok and how they're comparing, how you're doing on different platforms. It pulls all of those together nicely as well. But it's better for like that, really we're just posting for our one business. There's no sort of approvals process going on. And so they're both really great management tools for your content. In terms of content editing, there's lots of different apps, there's tons, and if you're not somebody who's like, I'm gonna go get trained in Adobe or a really expensive like video software, and I would rather just hire someone to do that, but maybe you just wanna make something quick, these are really great tools for you to be able to do that. So Canva, if you are familiar with it, it can help you create like design for your brand on maybe flyers or that text post, or if you're trying to add a little bit something extra over a video, you can use Canva for that as well, for text, or even like it has some AI features now where you can like remove the background or add a different background, those kinds of things as well. Lightroom is a part of Adobe, but it's just their app, and you can edit photos. So that's really nice for just like what maybe you want it to have a warmer tone or something like that. So I use Lightroom and I really love that. Shuffles is a cute little app that allows you to make collages. So right now, the collage look is really popular for a lot of different businesses on social media. So like little cutouts, adding it on top of one thing, adding it on, so the Shuffles app allows you to do that easily, but you can also do something like that on Canva if you have Canva Pro, I believe. SCRL, or scroll is how I like to say it, allows you to make a seamless carousel. So this is really specific to Instagram because no other platform you really need to do this. But if you want to swipe, and it basically is like a long panoramic picture, but you swipe through it, Scroll can help you do that. CapCut is great for TikTok, and you can also use it for Instagram Reels, but it pulls in the TikTok sound if you're looking to do something trending, and it will even cut it up for you. So you can just take your little clips, add them right in, and it's basically a fully cut up video for you. And then Edits and Instagram app is new to Instagram, but it's basically you can edit your Reels outside of the Instagram platform. It has a little bit more features, but I haven't played with it a ton personally, and I know editing within Instagram can just be a little clunky at times, so that's why I believe they came up with another app for you. So yeah, and then the last one, which last but not least, and we will touch on this a little bit more, is AI. A lot of businesses are using AI to capitalize on things that they don't want to be spending time on right now, but we do have a couple little like asterisks next to AI in terms of like copywriting for your business and how you can use it so you don't come off like you're using AI to like truly just do everything for you for your copy. Do you want to do a little bit on the AI?
About AI,
Yeah.
sure. So AI, it's a great tool, but one kind of bad thing about AI is that it definitely tries to like build you up. Like whatever you tell it, it's like, oh, you're killing it right now. So you've got to go into that with kind of a grain of salt. And then also AI is it has a format of, if you were to say, hey, make a caption about this, it has a few things that it'll do that you'll kind of notice. I can kind of go through these. So overly formal language. So like in this paragraph here, like introducing our brand new gold hoop earrings. I mean, you can make that a little bit more fun. Excessive adjectives and fluff. So stunning, timeless, perfect. And that's with like the generic phrasing. Perfect grammar, no personality. Overuse of emojis. I've always seen it where it's like, it'll be 2 emojis just next to like every bullet point. And then last, the biggest one for me is the M dash. The only person in this room that I know how to use the M dash is Claire. I don't know it, and I was a minor in creative writing, but I don't know what it means.
You were?
I was, yeah.
Oh,
But so whenever I see an M dash, I kind of just assume that it's AI because I just don't even know how to get it onto the screen. so those are kind of the big telltale signs. So I think AI is great for, brainstorming and kind of figuring out maybe video ideas that you want to do, but then give it your personality.
Yes.
Use it as a good starting point.
We always recommend like write your caption first, and then if you want more ideas, then you can give it to AI if that's a tool that you want to use. But don't ever let it write the caption first, because otherwise it will just come up with something like that. I said, hey, write me a caption for a post about gold hoop earrings. And that was all the information I gave it, and it gave me that, which is like, fine, but if you're scrolling on social media, be honest, are you reading that? No, like you're not gonna stop and read that. It's wordy and it gives you no actual good information for why we're posting this or why it matters. And yeah, I actually have kind of stopped writing with the M dash now, because I have been accused of like when I for my last job, I was writing with the M dash in a caption and someone was like, "You're using AI." And I was like, "I'm a person and I wrote that." But, I get it, because it does use the M dash a lot. And if you are using AI a lot, you'll notice that. And then as far as like more tools go for social media, like physical tools, we will always recommend your cell phone. Can be the greatest tool for you. You already have one. Just make sure you clean off your lens, because that goes a long way. The little smudge will just make people swipe right away. A Bluetooth microphone, a tripod, and ample lighting, or just like the outdoors lighting is great. Is like the best tools that you could be using. So with that said, we have a little giveaway. So does anyone have their little slip of paper still? I'll come around and grab it.
That came right in time for the
I know.
Yeah. Hey, nice to see you again. Thanks. Anyone else? Anybody? Okay. Alrighty, Austin. Drum roll, please.
You want to furl her out? No? All right, here, I'll put it in this hat. So I guess, do you want to tell them what they're winning?
Oh yeah, sorry. So the reason why I was just talking about those things is because you're gonna win them. So we have a tripod, we have Bluetooth microphones, and then we also have a little magnetic LED phone light. So it attaches right to your iPhone, and it might give you a little bit more, better lighting, and on days that don't have great lighting already, or if you don't have a big window to work with. So yeah, we're gonna have one lucky winner win this package today, and we actually have a second one of the same exact things, and we're gonna pull the winner for that at the closing keynote at the Pablo Center on Friday. So come to that if you are really bummed that you didn't win this.
Yeah, look out for some more info on like Instagram and stuff. So
Yes, we'll be
follow
posting.
Startup Chippewa Valley, and then we'll tag them too. But the winner for this one is Tiffany Buckman.
Shut the front door.
Woo!
There you go.
I said to myself, if I win this means I gotta go all in on this social media.
You gotta
Really?
do it now. You have a tripod.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Of course. Yeah. That was way too fun for me.
I was planning on saying, if I don't win this, which I'm not going to because I'll never win any game,
Mm-hmm.
are these the ones you guys recommend? Like, could you email a list or whatever? But
We-
I don't have to do that. These guys might.
Yeah. So I mean, these are great ones for like entry level too, just for like everyone to know. I personally, I have like higher end stuff, but it's because this is my like full-time job. But these are great. Audio, like having good audio is super important for video, and then again, light and a tripod can help you out. So
Yeah. I mean, there's really no bad tripod, like unless you get a horrible tripod and it's just like breaks right away. But there's really no, you can spend $100 on a tripod or $20, and it does the same thing for you. But yeah, the last thing that we just wanted to plug is to stay plugged into social media. This really helps you stay on trend, but also like, do you need to be constantly scrolling as a business owner to stay up to date with things? No, just follow a couple good accounts. So Adam Masseri, he is the head of Instagram. Hey, that's a good tripod.
That's the one with all the TikTokers.
Yeah. Yeah.
there
Yes.
you go.
So Adam Masari, he's the head of Instagram and Threads right now, and he'll post a lot of really great content just about like the algorithm or whatever. So he'll kind of debunk things where people are like, the algorithm is against me, and he'll go, oh, here's what's happening, that's not happening, or whatever. And then Reels Tips is a really good account. They stay really on top of trends. So if you're looking to kind of do some trending audio as a part of your business or fun trends, then this is a really great one. They're pretty on it. And then another thing is that the way that hashtags are used has changed. So it says here hashtags are dead. They're not dead, but they are in a way not being used in the same way. So right now they're basically being used as labels. So if there's a keyword that you have not yet used in your real script or in your caption, but you want it included, you could use it as a label to include that, but it's not being used in the same way like a search engine is now. Because Meta just announced that they're actually, all of your posts are going to be able to be found on Google, it's really just changed to more of an SEO structure, just like how Google operates as well. So now we recommend those keywords or what you would typically use in a hashtag, try and actually include it within your caption copy, within your reel script, or you can add alt text behind your pictures as well for Instagram for sure does that. And then TikTok, you can still, I think hashtags do still help on TikTok, but they only limit you to 5 hashtags because they really want to know exactly what this video is for, so they're giving it to the right people. So you kind of want those to be narrow as well, so you're also finding that sharp audience. So yeah, next steps. Create a plan of what your branding and content pillars look like if you're not already doing that. Brainstorm.
Yeah, I mean, just like whatever ideas you come up with, like write them down. They're not all going to be great, but I mean, having some ideas will just help you keep building on top of them. And then start making content. The start is always the hardest. So just like start recording, start filming yourself. It's honestly, it's not going to be great to start, but you have to start somewhere. And getting over that barrier of actually filming and talking to camera and feeling awkward because everyone feels awkward when they start. Then you can start putting out really great stuff. So yeah, just don't really be too nitpicky about it because something is better than nothing. I like to say, like when you're starting to create your own content, it's really quantity over quality. So don't worry about it being great. Don't worry about it really even being good to start. Just start filming yourself, getting used to talking to the camera again. And once it becomes more natural for you, it's going to become a lot better. And then one of the things that's been the hardest for like my clients and for people is like I'm able to get them on camera. We film, a dozen reels. They're all edited. They all look great. And then they sit in their hard drive and they never post their video because there's just that, again, barrier of like, oh, what is people going to say like when I post this? Or am I saying the right thing? Did it come out perfect? Just do it, post it, interact with it, reshare it, send it to your friends. Your friends are going to build you up and say, this is awesome. Eventually, you're going to realize, like, yeah, there are kind of crappy people online that will say bad things, but eventually, too, you almost like that as well. I had a video that I did for Quick Trip, and one of the comments was from this lady that said, this is the worst video I've ever seen. And I just thought that was the funniest comment because it was about fishing. So, I mean, she's been having a great life. That was the worst video. So yeah, just start posting it. I think it was, who was those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind.
Hey.
So yeah, just start posting. Don't worry about what other people say.
Yeah. So if you'd like to connect with either myself or Austin or both of us, our websites and our emails are on the screen. Feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to chat. Yeah, both of us offer different types of services, but in the same industry. So Austin and I end up working together quite a bit, which is really great. So
Yeah. And then, I think we have a bit of time actually to leave
yeah.
up for like questions.
Well, I was talking to some business owners over the weekend, and one of them purposely, she took over her company's social media, and one of them purposely has been entering mistakes, whether it be spelling error or something in the post to create engagement. Because people will comment on it, hey, this is wrong, whatever, and it's created I guess I'm curious what your thoughts are on it. I mean, my initial thought was the perception of you don't know what you're doing. But some of it can be, hey, I'm a one-man band here trying to do 72 things.
Right.
That's okay. So I'm
Yeah.
just curious what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm curious what your thought is too. But mine, so yeah, there was like a trend of that happening where people would type in some factual error that like most people know about, or they spell, you know, the wrong there, or it can be a bigger thing too. And I think it's a quick way to get engagement. But the people that are engaging with your content aren't necessarily engaging it for the content. They're engaging it because you did something wrong. And so Instagram's going to like look at, oh, it's these accounts are the ones that are interacting with your content. I'm going to show it to more of those types of accounts. So it's not people that want to follow you, it's people that want to correct you, which isn't maybe the audience that you want to be building. However, I think there's ways that you can do it where maybe it's a little sillier. I'd have to think about like how to maybe opportunize, you know, spelling errors to build a good audience. But that's just my kind of immediate thought. Yeah, I don't know if you.
No notes. That was eloquent,
Love it.
but yeah, yeah. I think that's like a good little hack. I mean, I can see the thought behind it for sure, but agreed with the audience building aspect of it. Or like if I so something weird, like my TikTok handle, my last name has an S at the end of it, and my TikTok handle automatically added like an apostrophe S, and then it's like, and you can't change your name for another 7 days. So I had to be like plural Claire Collins on TikTok for like a week because like wouldn't let me change it. And I had like so many people DMing me like, hey, just so you know, you have an apostrophe. And I was like, I promise I know that. I was an English major, but it you know, it's just like, oh, thanks, you know, and I feel like that's kind of the end of it, where you're not really gaining any additional like.
And I think it's also kind of like a short play to gain audience, because like Instagram is smart, and eventually they see things that are like, oh, okay, the accounts that are doing the best aren't again like quality content that's keeping people on the app. It's content to make people like just mad and like respond to it.
Oh, rage,
so, like,
rage bait.
Right. So they like try to fix that. I know that I don't remember how long ago it was, but like Instagram's algorithm was like really just pushing rage bait, and like it was only things that were making you mad. And I feel like at least they fixed it to a degree, because I don't get mad only when I'm on Instagram. And so I think like
Maybe it thought you were like,
right.
yeah.
Exactly. But so Instagram like catches on to these things that are being used and abused too, and then they fix that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, social media's overall goal is to keep people on their platforms for as long as possible. And if for some reason spelling mistakes does do that, then yeah, they'll keep that on there. But I don't think that it will.
Any other
Great
sorts of
question.
conversation or?
You didn't talk about like the timing of specific posts, but I'm guessing the analytics, like go into your analytics of the platforms that you're using and figure out, does the analytics show the times of days that your posts are doing well? I haven't dug into it deep enough to know. I know for visually, I can tell they do better at night,
Right.
for example, or really late,
Mhm.
especially on TikTok. But that's, and maybe that depends on the type of thing that you're posting too. But the second question is, can you tell me like I'm 5, or explain it to me like I'm 5? I think that's what the kids do. The difference between a reel and a story, and what the benefit of using them both would be.
Do you want to start with the first one
The first one.
or the second one?
The first one I probably answered myself. Just
Sure.
dig into the analytics.
Yeah,
So-
you'll find timing wise, like what might be performing, and also every audience is different. So your audience versus this other business's audience actually might behave differently.
Okay.
And so there is something to glean from every single person's analytics that might be slightly different. But overall, there's suggestions, like if you're scheduling within Meta Business Suite, it might even suggest a certain time for you. And I don't think that those are necessarily bad suggestions, because if the platform itself is saying, hey, this is a good time for you to post, you might as well try it. And you might as well just see how it goes. And if the platform is right, then great, let's try it again. And if it's wrong, then try a different thing. And it really is a trial and error. And I'm sorry, it's like a non-answer, but you looking into your analytics will always help that.
Yeah, they do have like a show optimal times. I know on like Vista Social.
Yeah.
But one thing too, yeah, at the beginning, I would say play around with it, because my thought is let's say you post at 4 p.m. every single day. Vista Social would say, oh, 4 p.m. is the best because that's when you're getting the views, but it's because you only post at 4 p.m. So to start off, maybe like try it out, see what happens. And then that can get you kind of a better idea. So yeah, exactly like Claire said. And then for reels and stories, so the very first thing that's like kind of the biggest differentiator is that reels like live on your social media profile. Like you can go see a video that I made 6 months ago on my Instagram. A story is live for 24 hours and then it gets deleted. So I think stories are great for like, hey, quick check out what I'm doing, maybe like a little behind the scenes thing. I did a promo for a coffee company, and so I did like a countdown thing for the story where that wouldn't really be applicable past the event.
So more like a Snapchat,
Yeah. Yep.
because it's gonna disappear.
Mhm.
I assume Snap still do. I don't know. That's
Mm.
one app I don't have.
Yep, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm not missing it. I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I would say like stories can also be saved out, and you could turn them into reels later too. If you see like, oh, a lot of people were really engaging with this, you can go back into your archives, save it out, and then post it as a reel later.
Yeah.
So it can,
Who's actually doing that now? Like this would make a great reel.
yeah, absolutely. It can be like a trial
Like,
process for
or
you.
whatever. Sometimes I'm actually make a reel before I realize I'm not making a post, which
Mhm.
is fine because then it stays on as a post.
Right.
Or whatever. But
Yeah.
Great
No, fair
questions.
questions. Anyone else wanna, even if it's not a question, maybe a comment or something they'd like to add? Yeah.
I have a question.
Perfect.
So I'm on social media. I don't have a very big following at all. I just don't know if my target market is there and like who's interacting with my posts and who I'm getting leads. I mean, a lead is a lead, but it's not my ideal lead. So I don't know, like, am I putting a lot of time into something that's not really getting me the customers I want, or should I just keep going with it because the customer's a customer?
So I have kind of two thoughts. So yeah, different social media platforms have like different kind of demographics. Like Facebook is generally a little bit older, Instagram's younger than that, TikTok's younger than that. So that's kind of like a good starting point. I would say that you're not wasting your time posting on social media, because I guess, do you mind sharing like what is your target audience for leads?
So I guess it would be an older demographic.
Sure.
50 plus, retirees.
Right. So one thing to keep in mind is, if you don't have a large social media following, it's good to start building that now. So then once that demographic, like let's say on Instagram, where it's a little bit younger maybe than your target demographic, once they hit that demographic, now you've got this following already built. And again, the great thing with like Rella or Meta Business Suite, like for Instagram and Facebook, at least on Meta Business Suite, you only have to do it like once and you can post it to both places. If you go into like Rella and Vista Social and later, you can add it to LinkedIn and all of these other ones as well. So I'm definitely biased, but if you don't try to keep building it, your audience isn't going to grow. So there's just kind of a growing pain with the smaller size, and then letting Instagram know like, yeah, you are a real account that's posting quality content, and then they'll start slowly pushing it out more and more.
Yeah, I would say consistency is important, and because of the scheduling up, you can batch make things and schedule it out. And also, maybe if you're not getting the people that you want involved, then maybe messaging can be adjusted slightly as well. terms of just like little tactics you can use on social media that kind of goes back to like it doesn't necessarily have to make its way onto your website or however else you're advertising for yourself, but certain messaging might be able to catch your demographics eye as well. So, okay, well, if there's any other discussions or if anyone wants to chat more afterwards, if you want some more soup, help yourself. But really, thank you guys for coming and sharing your thoughts and we're just really glad that you're here. So please check out all the other events for the rest of the week. We have a really fun lineup that we've been really looking forward to. So thank you guys.